What is up, Bodyweight exercise fans? How are you doing? How's life? I just finished my workout and I thought of answering your questions. Got a bunch of them here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 17 questions. So let's get started. I might break this down into two videos. First one is from, basically I haven't noted your names this time, just made quick notes of the questions. So this one is from a Bodyweight muscle fan, I guess, who asks, won't 2 days training in a row, full body, impair muscle growth? So basically he's asking, because I often, I have workout plans where you train like Monday, Tuesday, full body, and then again, Thursday, Friday, full body. So won't training 2 days in a row impair muscle growth? We often hear or read in magazines that, you need to rest always a day in between. Otherwise you won't have time to recover properly and all that. And the answer depends on training volume. You can train every day if you want. You can train 6 times a week. You can train 3 times a week, again, efficiently. What matters mostly is training volume. Are you getting enough training volume per week, per movement pattern, especially when it comes to bodyweight exercise? I've made a video on this, training volume and movement patterns. I'm going to link it above. Make sure you watch that, and everything is going to make sense. But to summarize it, basically, for example, let's say you train one day and you only do 3 sets of push-ups. That doesn't mean that you can't do push-ups the next day, unless like you went really hardcore at them, and you went like super high reps. You can train the next day as well. Maybe not when you're a complete beginner, like the first week you might be super sore and stuff like that. But as you advance, as you become from moderate training to an advanced training and beyond, that isn't a problem. So training 2 days in a row, not a problem as long as training volume is balanced in the end of the week. Next question. What is your favorite Greek cuisine? Yeah, not bodyweight muscle related, but I'm gonna answer this quick. My favorite Greek dish is stuffed peppers. So there's like a Greek dish where they stuff peppers with rice and all kinds of other tasty stuff, and you bake them, depending on the recipe. But that's like the core of this dish. Moving on, food cravings cannot be fixed. So this guy was asking, basically he says he eats high protein. He does like all the tricks and tips. He follows all the tricks and tips that I gave him and stuff he's read in other places. But he says I still can't tackle my food cravings. I can't deal with them. Well, this is a complicated topic. Nutrition is quite complicated. I would say if you have a pretty clean diet, you're exercising, you're moving, and food is still not enough, you can't get enough of it. If you're at the beginning of this diet of eating healthy and moving and all that, maybe before you were like eating a lot too much and not moving a lot. If you're at the beginning of getting into a healthier lifestyle, it takes some time to adjust. It takes some time to deal with food cravings. If you've been feeding your body for years like really sweet and really salty foods, it takes some time to adjust to regular foods, and to deal with hunger. Especially if you're trying to lose weight. But if you're eating at maintenance, or maybe you're even trying to gain weight, you didn't specify that. But let's say if you're eating at maintenance and you're exercising for a while, and it's been like a couple of months that you've been doing all this, and you still can't get, you still feel like you're craving food, maybe it's important to go to the root of why are you craving food. Is this connected mentally to something? Is food basically something you use to deal with something deeper, like something psychosomatic, something, maybe stress, maybe boredom. That's an easy one, but maybe, a life crisis, maybe a breakup, maybe financial problems, maybe child trauma. So maybe you're using food to cover other things. Because otherwise, our bodies, when you're eating pretty healthy and you're moving, it's easy to eat at maintenance. Our bodies are not that extreme. You won't get you won't feel like extremely hungry all the time if you follow all this. So maybe think about that. Maybe think what is something that is not right, that doesn't feel right in your life right now, that gets in the way of feeling your body's natural hunger better, calibrating all that. Moving on. This guy says that he's following convict conditioning these days, and he says that the advice in this book is conflicting with my advice. He says that it only recommends 2 to 3 sets per muscle group per week. That doesn't sound right. I don't. It's been a long time since I read that book. I don't even remember it anymore. I'm not saying I'm against it. Obviously, it helps a lot of people, so it is a good book. But yeah, I don't think that's the volume it recommends. 2 to 3 sets per muscle group per week is not enough. Maybe you didn't phrase the question right, so I'm gonna let you leave a comment again below and answer it maybe in the comment section for you. Moving on, timed sets training. So this guy asks, what is your opinion about training with time? So I'm guessing you say you set the timer and you try to do like 30 seconds of pull-ups, 30 seconds of push-ups, 30 seconds of burpees. Well, that can work, but you're gonna have to make adjustments depending on the exercise. For example, if you're doing pull-ups for 30 seconds, for most people that won't be something doable. Well, not for most people, but at least for people that are not quite advanced, don't have a really good level of relative strength. But what you can do is make adjustments. So let's say you want to do 30 seconds of pull-ups. You can do like one pull-up, drop on the floor, rest your arms a little bit, grab the pull-up bar again, and pull. And if you start feeling more tired, you can rest a little bit more on the floor. Just make sure that your form is clean, and if it works for you, if it gets you tired, if it produces enough intensity and muscle tension, it's not a bad way to train. I prefer counting reps. It's more tangible way of training. You can note down how many reps you did. You can keep track of your workouts that way better. But this also works. I use it sometimes when I'm training big groups. For example, I'm training an MMA team here, and we do some of that training as well. Moving on again, mind to muscle connection and circuits, too difficult. So this guy asked, he said he's trying to incorporate mind to muscle techniques. If you don't know what that is, I'm gonna link a video above. Mind to muscle techniques with circuits, and he finds it too difficult. He says, I've been training for a lot of years, I'm not a beginner, so what is the problem here? And the truth is that applying mind to muscle to circuits is indeed quite difficult. I also can't apply like 100%, at least mind to muscle techniques up to the amount that I apply them into normal training, like set after set workouts. I can apply as much mind to muscle technique as I apply there to circuits. Circuits don't allow you a lot of resting time. You do one exercise after the other, and you're gonna have to decrease your that mind to muscle tension. So if you're like working at 100% in straight sets in circuits, you're gonna be working around, I would say, 85%. It's normal to make adjustments when you're doing circuit training. It's normal to decrease a little bit that mind to muscle tension. So don't worry about that. Completely normal. Moving on to the next question. Pull push legs, 3 sets per exercise. Is that enough? So for this guy basically asks, he's doing 3 workouts per week. Each workout has 1 pull, 1 push, and 1 lower body, and he does 3 sets per movement pattern. Is that enough to build an athletic physique, as he asks? And yeah, pretty much that's a pretty good workout plan if you want to build like an athletic body. Of course, you're gonna plateau at some point, But if you're fine with that, if you're happy, if you're with your results at that point, um, if you're lean, if your body looks good and all that, that's fine enough. You can keep on doing on that. If you want to keep on progressing, increasing the training volume, again, important here, making some adjustments. But it all comes down to, at what point are you satisfied with your physique. Again, there's a video up there that I linked before on training volume and how to make adjustments on these topics. Moving on,